Now, a boom in Antarctic tourism has seen visitor numbers surge in recent decades, prompting scientists to question whether the frozen continent can sustain the influx of adventurers, perhaps drawn by last chance tourism. The vast majority of tourists leave on cruise ships from Tierra del Fuego. In South America, they cross the Drake Passage to the Antarctic Peninsula. They travel only in the Antarctic summer season, but numbers have swelled in recent decades. I'll give you some numbers. Over the 1994-95 season, around 8,000 tourists visited the continent. And while the numbers recorded for the summer of 2023 to 24 were just over 122,000. I mean, sure, we've got a big gap between 94 and 2024, but geez. The General Manager of Christchurch's International Antarctic Centre is David Kennedy. He says he suspects there could be what is known as the last chance tourism here at play. And he joins me. David, good afternoon.
Kia ora, Leah. How are you?
It is great to talk to you. I'm really good. Hey, before we get into all of this, what exactly does the International Arctic Centre do in Christchurch? What do you guys are about?
We're kind of we're a visitor attraction that's a sort of a mixture between an Antarctic themed attraction and a science museum, if you like. So interactive activities like a 4D movie theatre. We replicate an Antarctic summer storm. So a whole lot of different things that we sort of need to excite people and educate people about Antarctica.
Lovely. So you don't organise trips to the frozen continent, do you?
We do not, no. But we are kind of, as we joke, more people come to the International Antarctic Centre than go to Antarctica every year. So we're the most popular Antarctic experience in the world.
That never gets there. No, I get it. Hey, but are there so are there many New Zealand outfits that do?
There's one main expedition cruise company called Heritage Expeditions and they differentiate themselves from those South American cruise ships because they're more expedition vessels, because it's more of a true expedition to get down to the Ross Sea south of New Zealand than it is to nip across the Drake Passage.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So look, I must admit, Antarctica's on my radar, but going by the visitor number explosions, as I mentioned in my intro, 8,000 visitors in the mid-90s to over 120,000 now. What's driving the boom, David?
I think it's a bit of everything. Technology's changed. The cruise ship technology's changed. There's been a boom in the cruise market in general. So, and I think people like David Attenborough have helped probably. There's sort of been I think there's always been a bit of a fascination that people have with Antarctica, but as we know here, because we greet so many guests here every year, that people really have very little knowledge about it. They have a bit of a fascination for it because I know there's this big, semi-big icy thing down below us, but they don't really know much about it. They know maybe about penguins. They mistakenly think sometimes there are polar bears there. But there's a kind of, I think there's a mixture of it. The last chance tourism thing's potentially part of that. But
so explain that, David. You've mentioned that, last chance tourism. I gather this means see it before it's no longer there.
Yes, correct. And that's it's kind of a identified sort of segment of global tourism where, if you think things are not going to be there, like a coral reef or, if there's going to be an historic monument pulled down or the ice is going to disappear somewhere, then you go, well, at least I can be one of the ones, that has been one of the last people to see it. But it's a longer bow to draw for Antarctica because at its current rate, Antarctica is going to take about 5,000 years to disappear. So
I'm with you on that one, David.
There is a lot of ice down there. Yeah.
Stop panicking, everyone.
No, hey, you don't. You got plenty of time to get there.
Plenty of time. No one's living to 5,000 years from now. What's the majority of tourists I mentioned come from South America being the closest point, but are there other hot spots or is it just too kind of far to get to?
It's just, increasingly the majority goes, through South America, just because the Drake Passage, it's only kind of 18 to 20 hours across the Drake Passage in a cruise ship from the bottom of South America. So
Yeah.
as much as that can be an adventure in itself, it's kind of got two names, the Drake Passage. It's either the Drake Lake on a nice day or the Drake Shake.
Oh no. Oh
So
no.
some people
I
have a
can't do
not
that.
so good time,
No.
and you can't
The Drake
guarantee
Shake.
it. But increasingly cruises, and there are some already that go between South America and New Zealand or Australia. So that, and they go. Part of the reason for that is they try to get to the Ross Sea region, or our New Zealand Ross dependency, which is really the only place in Antarctica where the famous early explorers' huts are. So Captain Scott and Shackleton's huts are in the Ross Sea. So they've been conserved, those huts, by the New Zealand Antarctic Heritage Trust. So they do allow, under special license, you can go inside them, and that's quite a unique experience because you're literally walking into history. So some of those cruise ships are increasingly headed from South America across to New Zealand and Australia, and that's a concern as well for the safety of people, because if something goes wrong between South America and New Zealand, there's no one to come to rescue you for weeks or months. It's not, it's a Titanic situation without the rescue. You might be in a lifeboat for a couple of months.
While. Actually, and staying with that, David, I mean, it's a pretty harsh environment. It's not like swanning by a pool with a coconut cocktail in your hand. So there must be risk factors, I suppose. But what kind of tourists or what kind of people are attracted there who want to go?
It used to, the earlier days when you were talking about those much smaller numbers, they were literally the sort of, the adventurers, I suppose, the wildlife photographers or wildlife lovers, but with the growth in it, the market segments have changed. So you get people that go, I just want to go on a cruise, and sometimes you'll meet people that have been to an Antarctic cruise that didn't even really realise they'd been to Antarctica because they just bought a ticket on a cruise ship to somewhere.
Nice. Yeah,
so
good one.
so there's a whole range of people that they want to jump in a Zodiac and go ashore in Antarctica and see the whales and the wildlife and take photography, and then there's private jets if you want to go and buy a charter flight to the South Pole and smoke a cigar and drink some champagne or rum at the South Pole. If you've got enough money, you can do that too.
All right. I see too that they also have, it's attracted now, and I always hate to use the I word, but influencers. So they turn up and they post it all over social media. Look at me, I'm having a wild time. Look how fabulous my life is. So do you think they are helping or hindering, David? I mean, are they causing more pressure on the environment? Not just them, but a lot of people.
Increasing, I mean, it's increasingly being debated that, I mean, one of the probably valid arguments is that, if you're the people that go to Antarctica do become advocates for Antarctica and Antarctic wildlife and the planet. So there is an argument that you're creating a percentage of advocates.
I hear
advocates for the environment. So then the counter to that is the more humans you put into a place, the more degradation will happen to a fragile environment, and then counter to that
more
is
people, more problems.
The size of Antarctica, like Antarctic tourism, kind of takes up about 1% of the Antarctic continent because it's twice the size of Australia. So it's a massive continent. So 99% of it, humans aren't going anywhere near. So that's another argument.
Okay. So it's only it's like 1% that the tourism that tourists ever get to go to.
Yeah, because they're only going, those 120,000 people that went last summer, they're going to the tip of the Antarctic Peninsula, which is just a fraction of Antarctica. It's such a massive...
So there's that.
Yeah, most people don't really realise the scale of it.
No,
it's 52 times bigger than little old New Zealand.
Hey, I see some guides quit because they say that their values don't align with the growing tourism. I mean, is that an issue for the industry?